Hello, and welcome to yet another stream here on the channel. Let me just fiddle around with my music. Today is going to be a rather short stream. I'm gonna fiddle around with the processing stuff. I have an idea that I want to try out, and we're gonna mess a bit around with the stencil buffer. Yeah. So let's try that. Maybe we should clean up some of this stuff. Make this function smaller, or rather, remove some of these spaces here. Let's see. Okay. Also, I need to commit downsampled Bloom implementation here. Okay. We're in sync. Okay. And I think I want something like DX backend. In all honesty, I think this should be renamed to backend, PostFX, blah blah blah. Yeah, whatever. Let's do something like stencil. And let's simply add another pipeline. We got 8 pipelines. 8 pipelines. And after our emission stuff, by the way, I fixed some of the render to texture pipelines to this new backend setup where we do 2 frames in flight. And mostly it works, but it's definitely not done yet. I need to do some debugging. But render to stencil. Let's see. So we want something like our regular pipeline here. Okay, we set up a stencil pipeline. We will initialize it with a topology of triangle list, a regular root signature, let's say render to stencil. It will have a pixel shader and a vertex shader. It will use no render targets. And let's see. No rasterization mode is 0. Well, this should actually be something else then. Let's see. Rasterize mode equals 3. Let's do depth enable false. Let's do DXGI format. Okay, let me. I almost said add the autocorrect, but let's do a 8-bit uint for the stencil. Uh, and let's add some depth stenciling here. No, that's the main shader, I think. Depth stencil, stencil enable, true. Um, front face, back face. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Whoops. Right mask. Let me look up the DirectX12. Let's see. DirectX, the stencil mask. Uh, um, Let me look this up. What I should use. Usually this is backface called. Let me see, what does the documentation here say? Talk to me. Okay. I got it. I got it. Rewrite right to all the bits. Or maybe we should just do one here. And let's see, front face function. Hmm. Huh. So we need to fill out this. Or what? K. So the stencil fail up. Whoops. Uh, let's see. I'm Hi, how are you doing? And welcome to the stream. Okay, okay, I got it. I got it. We're gonna use the replace function here. I'm alright, I'm alright, a bit tired. Just trying to do some work here, before I gotta go to bed. Why does this fail? How about you? What you working on? Let's see. So let's see. Fails. I mean, this is somewhat nonsensical. Microsoft, you're not doing a great job. Okay, so so if we so we want to take our PSO description. Nice, sounds nice. Did you just get off or let's see, front face. If the operation fails. Let's see. So we want to okay, so maybe we want depth enabled, I'm not sure. Would we just want to stencil it no matter what? I guess if it's not visible in terms of the depth buffer, well, we're gonna swap the depth buffer. So, are we even gonna compare, or are we just gonna draw to the stencil? Uh, I'm thinking probably we're gonna try just writing to the stencil. Yeah, I'm not sure we're gonna depth test also because the depth buffer is kind of like being swapped around. We're gonna use a just a sec. Resize PL, welcome to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. So maybe we want to do some depth testing, but I mean, I think this pipeline would just draw to the stencil buffer and it would be not following the ordinary size of stuff. We're kind of like trying to write to a stencil just to mask some stuff. And we want the mask to be bigger than the original object because we want a PostFX to be within a slightly bigger than the actual object mask, if that makes any sense. So I don't think we need to test for the depth value, and besides it would probably be 0 anyway since the depth and stencil buffer are the same buffers. The bits are just used differently. Uh, yeah. Okay, I need to see. So the comparison function here, always, what does that do? Always pass the comparison. Okay, that basically makes life a bit easier. I don't. Hello, how you doing, buddy? So let's see. Read mask. We also read the bit. The fail op is going to be keep PSO disk depth stencil state front face here. Did you just get off or? Welcome to the Stream After Job channel. Let's see. So like this, and then. Oh, it's about the same for me. Are you in European time or American or? Okay, so we have this Moscow time. Oh yeah. So that's approximately like European time, right? What's the? Okay, GMT plus 3. So local time GMT plus 3. Oh, so you're 1 hour ahead of me. So basically you got 1 hour later off work than me. Okay, so we have our depth stencil set up here. Uh, let's see. And also, I think I need use render targets 0. We will set the PSO disk here. Num render targets to 0. So this write only to stencil is basically something that blend mode is just 0. Rasterize mode is what did we specify it as? Let's see. Rasterize mode number 3. We should really create some enums for this instead of lots of numbers, but it is what it is. So let's do in our shadow map buffer here. Let's see. And then for the second one, for the next frame in flight, and let's see, ppipe, set the, oh, pipeline, set name, no, set name, stencil, right, PSO, and this should basically be it, right? At least I think so. Okay, so I mean, do like enums like this. I should create one for different pipeline initialization versions, but yeah, I might change the pipeline code eventually. So yeah, as long as I can remember what I'm actually doing, and it doesn't cost me a lot of time, I probably don't have to implement the enums. Let's see. So let's add some shaders here. Pixel shader. And add a vertex shader. And in our front end here, we should do, yeah, I'm gonna do a special pass for that. Let's see. Void render pass. Let's do some of the same stuff here. Let's see. And instead of opaque, let's do stencil here. Let's try doing that. So we have a stencil pass here. I think we want a polygon pair instead. These two are kind of like already implemented. Also, I forgot that we want the, what do you call it? Depth stencil stuff. And our depth stencil heap is up here. Let's create another depth stencil thingy for our render to stencil pipeline here. Depth stencil for this. I actually think that I'm allowed to store it, right? Yeah, I am. Depth stencil. Okay. Let's simply copy this code here. No reason to redo a lot of it. But this needs to be DXGI. What did we specify inside our pipeline? Like this. Let's see, and let's do ppipe depth stencil.get. Yeah. Okay, and ppipe here. Depth stencil initialize with our device. And let's do width, height, depth is just standard. Stencil only stencil. Okay. Let's do DX render pass stencil with our draw call data store mesh params, our draw call data store emissive polygons just for testing, and DX the pipeline here with the stencil only call. Okay, let's see if everything compiles thus far, and then we will fill out the actual commands. Okay, we have a problem. Create has an unrecognized value. Ah. Okay. Yeah, so it crashes after, so I need to fill out some of the I need to fill out the thing for the back face as well, it seems. I just thought I could leave it as 0. I can't. Let's try. Nope, it doesn't allow me to do that. Huh. Okay, it needs to be filled out. Let's just do keep. Depth failure, pass up. Does this solve it? Okay. Stencil func needs to be set. Okay. Let's do yeah, for the back faces we won't be doing anything. Let's see. Am I forgetting to clear it somewhere? Oh, maybe I need destruct. And let's do something like this. Let's see, float 4 here, input.pos. Huh. Position 0. Huh. I think I would disagree on that. What's happening? Oh, I forgot to clear it afterwards. So it doesn't really crash during that pipeline compilation anymore, or what? Yeah, definitely. So the pixel shader is expecting render to texture. Oh, yeah, okay. It's because it just is my own fault. So in this render target pixel shader stuff here, uh, we're actually telling the pixel shader that we're gonna write to the render target with a float 4. Ah, we're not. Let's see. Can I set a uh, could I do something like, yeah, usually it's somewhat tricky. Mm, yeah, okay, I can use that as an output semantic. Maybe let's do void or what? Yeah, okay. Quit whining, buddy. Oh, yeah, okay. I actually made a mistake, didn't I? Let's see. Format. Let's do this instead. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, wait a minute. When I initialize it, I think, yeah, I set the format here. That's the mistake. Uh, DXGI format. Format equals. Great, we initialize the stencil with a value of 0. And this is usually, whoops. Oh, well, that's correct, right? 1. And this format here. There we go. Yeah, I need to add this to our detach stuff. Let's see. DX backend pipeline type. This stencil stuff here. Here we go. Okay, so we actually create our depth stencil stuff here. So let me just see. I actually do this maybe since this is all connected to the same render targets and stuff like that, and since this swaps the render target, I could save some command list calls to by doing it afterwards. So let's see. We want to get a depth stencil and a what do you call it? Anyway, let's grab the pipeline reference here. Pipeline type. Let's reference the opaque pipeline for the different buffers. Let's reference our command list. The viewports are probably gonna stay the same. Let's bind the pipeline here. Let's set the primitive topology and the vertex and index buffers. Let's grab the depth stencil handle here and let's clear we don't, yeah, we need to steal it from up here. Clear depth stencil view here. Yeah, and the stencil is the one after the depth. Fine, fine, fine. Let's see. Let's set our render targets to 0. Null pointer here. Let's see. Let's do that. And right now everything should run just fine. Well, it should. I think I said that way too early. So what's the problem? This will run fine, right? Yep. So let's just try binding this stuff. Does that work or not? No, it doesn't like that call for some reason. Access violation. Huh. Do we do anything in particular in our skybox pass that might mess with us? No? Did I maybe end up creating a value that's not set. Huh. I mean, render to stencil does compile. Oh, no. Let's see. Am I initializing it wrong? I think so. Stencil is fine. And it seems like we're actually compiling stuff. So let's see that everything is actually running all right without the actual calls. Whoops, what's that? Oh, it's a panel. Resource inspector, stencil. It doesn't really have a pixel shader. So, what's the trouble, Mr. Officer? Because we should be. Let me try doing this in debug mode. Okay. Yeah, so this. Is it the root signature? I mean, yeah, the root signature raw pointer here is 0. Everything is 0 here. Huh? Huh? It definitely shouldn't be 0. So this, let's see, what's the pipeline type? 5. Pipelines. 5. Pipeline. Root signature raw is set. Yeah, so p pipe pipeline. So somehow this doesn't get grabbed correctly. Oh, it's I see. I see. Obviously it can't be right because it's a. Hello, buddy. How you doing? It's because it's a standard pipeline, not a PostFX pipeline. My bad. So this should run fine now. Yeah, when you can't read what you're tapping, you're in a lot of trouble. Anyway, let's set our pass data. Oops. Let's set our pass data. Let's set our, well, we don't need the texture since we, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry about the shouting. I think I just got really happy that I actually found the problem. Okay. So let's see. You're not too used to shouting on this stream. I can't promise you that I won't shout again, but I'll try to control myself and my enthusiasm. Okay, so we have a stencil now that is one all over. Huh? Well, I'm not sure that, that I wanted it to be one all over. Oh, maybe. Oh. Oh, this stencil here, yeah. No, it's zero all over. I'm happy that you don't mind too much. Let's see. So we have the debugging stuff. We have the PostFX stuff. We have polygon, bloom pass, shadow map. Stencil. Let's see. Set render target 0. Well, obviously it doesn't work. But maybe it's related to our shaders. So let's do something like the vertex shader of the polygon stuff here. Let's do a clip space position. Probably not a, neither of these actually. Let's see. Let's just do clip space. For starters. Whoops. We of course want to actually render our objects. So let's update these shaders. Okay, we had a typo. Oh yeah. Of course, vertex shader output here. Let's make sure we update. Luckily it was not, I think, but yeah. Obviously, I needed to change this stuff here. Yeah, it was just a me being a bit too fast for the program to follow my lead here. Okay, right now we still don't have anything written. It might be related to the pixel shader stuff then, because now we kind of like pass on the object position in clip space, and the rasterizing unit can actually translate it into uh, pixel space or screen space here. Let's do vertex shader output input. But I'm unsure whether a what does a I forgot what I do when I do the shadow pass here. The shadow pass render targets. Yeah, we do render targets 0, and we only bind a depth stencil. Yeah, let's copy this just to make sure that I don't do something weird. Let's see, this is basically the same. Yeah, so it should work. Should, could, may work. Okay, this also needs to not be what we do. And of course I need to, no, I already bound that in the comment.include. Let's see. So let's see, depth stencil, blah 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 here. Still nothing. Maybe the function I do is wrong, so let's try recompiling the pipeline with some different parameters, because if I do the draw call here, let's see, the mesh viewer, yeah, so we actually do draw the tower. And as you can see, it gets transformed into camera space with this draw call here. So we actually do draw something, but is this the stencil right PSO? It doesn't really do anything. Let's see. Fill mode, call mode back. Sample mask. Oh yeah, okay. I need to set the reference value, of course. I need to set the reference value. I forgot to set the reference value. Okay. Set Stencil ref. And let's do 1. And maybe, just maybe, just maybe we're lucky. And everything. Oh, no. Nope. That's not it. No resource. Okay. I'll get you a resource. Yeah. So, huh. Let's see. Can I be missing something? Oh, it's actually there, I guess. It's there. It's there. It's working. The value is just so completely weird that when it tries to interpret it as a float, it just doesn't work. Yeah. So apparently in a float value, this is when the first bit is set. So it's really here. Oh, that's great. That's so freaking great. I couldn't understand why it wasn't working anyway, so turns out I wasn't wrong. Okay, so what I would want to do now is actually increase the size of the object just a bit. So let me just save this as a screenshot here so I could compare it because this is now a mask that we can use to draw different stuff with. So I'll create a PostFX thingy. In just a sec there we'll use this just for fun, but let's increase the size of it. So inside render to stencil, inside the vertex shader, let's do times, let's see, what's the easiest way to float 4x4 scale mat dot, I can't do dot, or what, scale mat Oh, wait a minute. Eleven, 12, 13, 14, right? Is equal to, maybe, let's just do 2 for now. 1, 1, and 1. Doesn't like this one. Float 4. I guess. And let's do 2, 2, 2, 3, 2. Scale mat for 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay, let's try doing this scale mat here. And let's remember to update our stuff. And let's check render doc, and we should see a very big object now in our depth or stencil. Stencil. Yeah, it's very big. So the scaling worked. The problem is that it's not actually scaled in relation to its translation, because you should always scale before you translate. Okay, that's kind of like not so great. Also, this is the comparison, and you might see that the object is not kind of like drawn to the same place. Uh, Maybe I want to scale it first and then apply whatever transformation we have afterwards. That's probably more correct. Then we will get the translation afterwards. Let's see. Well, that didn't change anything. Maybe. Hmm. And this won't work, right? This won't work, right? I'm pretty sure it won't work. Okay, it definitely did something different. It made the object non-uniform. That's what's going on with scaling when you mess it up. Yeah. I'm wondering, well, we're not actually very interested in the actual stencil. It doesn't have to be precise, but it definitely needs to be bigger than the original object. So I might be able to get away with a scale that is something like this. And although the object is going to be kind of like not correctly translated, I'm not sure it's a problem because we're only using this as a mask for an effect that should be applied within that area. So it would probably not matter too much. I mean, if I open the, you can see it's kind of like, it's kind of like just bigger than the previous object. It's not by much, but it's bigger, and I guess the whole point of making this mask here is that we don't want to affect pixels outside or very far away from this area here. We might not even affect the pixels, but um, yeah. But it needs to be a bit bigger than the original object. Huh. Maybe I actually want the depth value. Maybe I do want the depth value. Uh, yeah, because if I both have the depth value and the stencil value, I can actually compare to the previous depth value, and if it's scaled a bit, it will always be bigger than the object. Well, I could also just create a special case transform for this effect. That would be more work. And I'm not sure I would want to do that. Yeah. Okay. I'll consider this problem. Eventually. It's definitely fixable. It's just how many. It's not necessarily hoops I have to go through, but I have to kind of like change the pipeline information a bit by binding different constant buffers for the actual object information. So we could also just well, nah. It's definitely the fastest way to do the stencil here is to scale the object. In this shader is fine, that's pretty fast. Before the shader is even faster and probably more reliable. Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna figure it out later. Right now, we want something like a comment here. More optimally, it's the object matrix is scaled properly outside the pipeline or the shaders CPU side before draw call. So what I could do is actually, instead of passing in the exact draw params here, which are, or rather, instead of doing our linking to our opaque pipeline here and using that constant buffer, we could create a small constant buffer for this particular pipeline and simply update it manually. And then in our front end here, when our draw data is being compiled, we could during this step here, we could compile a separate series of transforms for our particular objects, but that's a specific render pass. Yeah, it would probably be, yeah, it's doable and not that hard. Yeah, you would just need a different update pass here. So we would take our texture match stuff, our pipeline stuff, and simply bind that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll probably do that sometime. Anyway, that's not the interesting part. So let's add a new PostFX here. And this is pass-through, right? Yeah. No, that's all tone map? No, pass-through. Okay. Down sample. Let's do something called let's call this draw to stencil. And let's create one. Draw to stencil. And we should of course call it draw to stencil here. And let's add a PostFX here called draw to stencil. And let's do draw to stencil. And let's see, when we initialize PostFX with this, we're not allowed to use the depth stencil, right? Yeah, we don't do any depth testing, which is usually fine, since we're operating on render targets and textures, and I guess we're not really comparing. No, we're never really even considering C values for these pixels here, so yeah. Usually it doesn't make any sense to include a stencil format, depth stencil format. Okay, let's create a specific version of this DSV format. Else. Okay, let's see. And let's add our let's add this kind of like format here. VSO disk depth stencil state depth enable still false. VSO disk. That's also a reason why not to write to the depth buffer. Depth stencil state depth right mask 0. Depth func. Doesn't matter, it's not enabled. And let's see, stencil read mask. Stencil right mask should be 0, I guess. That's stencil state. Let's do front face. If the let's see. Let's just keep it. Do nothing. No need to write anything. Keep. Let's see. Fail up. Keep. Yeah, we basically don't want to change the stencil, but we do want to use it. which reminds me that I need to set the enable. Let's see, equal, right? And let's see, let's do the same thing afterwards for the back. Stencil enable is true. And let's do the back face. Yeah. And let's see our PostFX here. We'll set it to this one. Let's see, downsample, blah, blah, blah. Pipeline, set name, draw to stencil, PostFX, PSO. Okay. And this is fine. It will write the white color to whatever we're kind of like drawing to. Let's see. Okay. Okay, and then I want a call here. PostFX here. Void render PostFX. Write to stencil. Write to stencil. Okay. Write to stencil. Right now we won't worry about the viewport stuff. And let's see. Let's see. Final here. Let's do a not a clear color. We don't want. Oh, maybe. Well, in reality, this gets called before this one, so I guess we need to clear it. We should couple this to a separate function. Anyway. Okay. We set to our regular render target here. And let's simply just try drawing. Let's see what happens. If things just work out of the box here, which they probably won't do, we should see something white being drawn to wherever the stencil passes. Okay, we have an error. Bloom pass buffer. Huh? Huh? Does this do anything? Is it the so that draw call messes us up. Draw to stencil. This is fine. This is fine. Why does it whine about that? Because hmm. Hmm. So what's the problem, Mr. Officer? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Should I get the... No, the final here is actually the one that writes to the back buffer. So right now the back buffer is quote unquote clean. And we actually don't want that one. And we don't want to clear it. Okay. That's one of the problems. Next, we actually want the opaque pipeline one. So when we downsample, we actually use that one as a resource. No, we don't use that one. We use the second render target for the opaque one. So let's see. And we use that one. Okay. So inside our render pass here, do we set a render pass as maybe we do it on the set buffers. Yeah, okay. So this is the one. This is the way. Okay. Still, we in trouble. Okay, do I actually change the state during the final one? So this PostFX SRV, what do we actually bind up here? That's the constant buffer. And the bloom pass buffers are the ones that we are using there. Yeah, maybe we want the bloom pass buffer here. Okay. What happens if we transition this as well? And then we have more errors. Do I actually? I'm not sure. I follow you, Mr. Directx12 debugger. Let's see. So, yeah, without this pass here, it doesn't really do anything that it wants to whine about. But, whoops. Do I need to? So it wants me to rebind it. But I guess I could. I mean, horizontal pass and the shader resource is passed along into a, and this is bloom pass buffer 2. If I kind of like, is this inside the for loop? Yeah, it is. So it needs to do it that way. Maybe if I Yeah, okay, the wrong pipeline, of course. This is somewhat annoying. I'm not even using had it changed to a writable state, which in yeah, so it kind of like tells me you swapped it to a render target, but let's just do like this for testing purposes. The first time we get an error. Yeah, okay. But it doesn't care during the next one. I mean, here it's basically using the same ones, I guess. But let's see. Okay. I mean, I guess if I place this here, what's the trouble then? Yeah. So is this the problem? Hmm. Is this the problem? Um, because CNS texture 0? Well, Okay. Is it because some of the stuff I do here? What happens if I do like this? Yeah. Ah. Okay, let's add the opaque stuff here. Let's add the opaque one here. And is it bound? Yeah, it's probably bound. That's why. That's why I think. So in the root signature, it's right now bound during this one here, because we kind of like set the descriptor table to whatever we need, and yeah. So first of all, this is fine. We get our let's see. Maybe we just want like this, and then we want to bind the descriptor table here. Maybe we just want to set it to the, what do you call it, shadow map here, so it's not bound. Yeah, that works. Yeah, so that was the problem. We wanted to clear the root signature itself. Let's see. And as you can see, we have some weird effect here. Now, how do you like that? Now that's graphics for you. That's brilliant graphics. Also, the viewport is too small. Anyway, we need to set the correct viewport. Let's see. Okay, so because the root signature is not reset, we end up in trouble. Let's create the regular viewport here. And what else was I thinking? Yeah, we want to clear, but what was the thing I was thinking? Oh yeah, if we actually do like this, maybe I don't need to rebind a table. No. Root signature. The root signature has not been set. Oh. Oh yeah. So I need. No, it's because it keeps the. Okay, yeah. So there's no way around it, I guess. Maybe. Yeah, this will be the same. Yeah, no root signature has been set. Can be. No? Okay. So either we bind our shadow map because it's the only resource that's in a state that is not a write state, and we don't want to kind of like use resource barriers all over the place just to swap the state of different stuff. Yeah, I could really use a null texture that we could use to flush the different stuff. Yeah, well, doesn't really matter. We can use that one. And let's see, V2, right? Yep. And let's look at our magnificent effect here. It's right now right here. But since we don't clear, we need to clear the. Oh my god. It looks so silly. Just smearing white all over the screen. I think. Is it not? Is it? Huh? Maybe it's because of the. But it should be cleared, right? Oh, I need to set the flag, of course, right? There we go. Yeah. So now we have a stencil that simply writes the white color to whatever our stencil masks. So if we actually set our right to stencil vertex shader here, let's just set an identity matrix. Okay, so and that will color our object in white. Great stuff. And let's see in our combine PostFX here. Let's see. Bloom, draw to stencil. Oh, this one. If I disable the bloom color. We only get a white object. So whatever we see laid over this one is actually the bloom color. Anyway, so this is a proof of concept in terms of we can actually write to the stencil mask with whatever effect we want, and we can merge it with our render target. And we're not really spending a lot of resources on it. The frame rate doesn't really change a lot from it. So and that's the benefit of using a stencil mask, so that we kind of like only handle pixels that that is part of the stencil. Other pixels get discarded and not even processed. So it's way faster than doing a pixel shader that checks every pixel or a value of a pixel or whatever. So we can now add a computation here, and actually I already implemented Bloom. We got Bloom already. Already, buddy. Let me just show you. This object here has Bloom. It's since the bloom effect is not supposed to be very obvious here. It's not intense, but it actually has bloom. Let's see. I did it in a previous episode. So if we crank up the emission of the object to something absurd, maybe 60 instead here, I think you can see it kind of like glows. And also you can see around the edges here, it's actually a bit blurry. You can always play around with the Gaussian blur and the effect itself, but this is bloom. Let's try that. Yeah, you can see the effect kind of like getting bigger. So yeah, this is bloom. No, it's no problem. It's no problem. You're welcome to ask anytime, and if you missed something, it's fine. No problem. Okay, so what we could do is draw to stencil. We could create a effect where we take our actual render target and sample it. But I think we would need a copy. Yeah. So what we could do is if we had a copy of our maybe even a downsampled version of our original render target, maybe that would be more interesting. But did I disable it? Yeah, I did. So imagine that we had a copy of our original render target. We could, by using the highlighted parts of this object here, that also goes through the bloom effect, and kind of like distort or sample the pixels around this in a sign controlled way, which would add a wave effect to each of the pixels sampled around these areas here. And that would be kind of like a heat distortion effect. And since we have a stencil mask here that we can actually show, we could make sure that we could control the area where the distortion effect gets applied, and yeah, make sure that we don't get heat waves all over, but maybe only in a certain area. And we could actually use the grayscale version of the bloom effect itself to kind of like add a area or intensity effect to the actual heat waves so that they are most intense around the actual uh, center of like the heat thing here, and then at the outer edges it gets more and more subtle. Yeah, so basically you kind of like sample texture pixels from the neighboring pixels and put them in whatever place, so that makes things kind of like wavy and distorted. So yeah, but anyway, I won't be able to do any more work today. Um, um, all I got to do was implement the render pass where we write to the stencil and from that create a mask for an object, which we can use in a PostFX to kind of like apply a PostFX on certain parts of our image. Actually, maybe this should even be done afterwards. I can't do it because oh yeah, that's because we need to let's see, we need to set the what do we call it? I'll set the render targets back to whatever we would need for these passes here. So that's the problem. Okay, let's just do like this afterwards. Swap chain, get, and then this, and then this. Huh? Oh, let's just do two. And then it whines about, yeah, some kind of like stuff that needs to be reset. But we swapped the root signature. Uh, What if I do something like, we're not binding anything. Yeah, there we go. So the root signature just needs to be cleared. So that we don't have any dependencies between execution steps. Maybe we can even make the pipeline faster by clearing those references. Yeah, but anyway, that's it from me today. Hope you found it inspirational, helpful, or just maybe a bit entertaining. I at least had fun with the weird effects that we saw today. Yeah, so this is the first part of a heat distortion effect around the heat tower. So yeah, I want to add that as a special effect here on everything that emits heat. Uh, and then I think I'm done playing around with the render effects for now, and I will return to uh, programming some gameplay mechanics and progressing the actual game. But yeah, graphics is kind of fun, so I get distracted a bit. But be sure to tune in, join the Discord, comment, like, or subscribe if you want to support my work. Also, there are uh, descriptions in a yeah, different stuff in the description down below. Anyway, hopefully I'll be seeing you around, and take care, everyone. Keep on trucking. Stay healthy. Bye bye.